Hi everyone, I have a share for you all today. So this is some cards that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. I actually was waiting for something to come in to finish them. So I thought I'd go ahead and share with you now that I have. So I had ordered this stamp set from the Ton Stamps. It's called Easy Expressions Holiday. And it's one of her layering stamps for sentiments. And this is one for the holidays. So I have the stamps and the die. Share with you the die. Here's the die. So it cuts all of the sentiments at once. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different sentiments in here. Plus some extras that don't get die cut. So you would use these, straight onto a card. So that's the stamp and die set that I was waiting on. I'll show you how I do mine. These are the two Misties that I have loaded up with the sentiments. So this is the one layer, and you can see it's one giant stamp. And here's the other one. They're both stained now because I've used my dye inks for them. But this is how I do it for mass production. So I actually used a 12 by 12 white sheet of paper for this. I cut it down to 8.5 inches by 11. No, that's not what I did. I cut it down to 8.5 by 12, and then on the shorter side, the 8.5 side, I cut 4 inches wide strips. So they were 8.5 by 4. And then I put them in my Misty. So you can stamp, it makes three separate strips. And so I made 3 stampings of each of the layers. So this is the first layer I did, and then the second. And I did them in 2 different colors. I used, put that off to the side. I used these colors right here because they match the papers that I was playing with. And I will show you the papers in a second. Cocoa Bean from Paper Tray Ink. My Distress Oxide in Festive Berries, and Cobalt Breeze from the Ton. Those are the inks that I used for my sentiments. And here are some of the sentiments cut out in both the Festive Berries and the Cobalt Breeze, and then using the Cocoa Bean for all the plain fonts. So the scripty fonts are what I use the colors in, and then the brown is where you see the rest of the sentiment. So these are my leftovers. Okay, and let me just kind of show you. Maybe I'll show you 2 up close. Do I have? Yeah, I do. These are the same sentiment, but stamped in the 2 different colors up close. There are 2 sentiments in the strip that are actually not Christmas themed. There is a Hanukkah one, and there is a Happy New Year. So I didn't use these 2 on my Christmas cards because they're Christmas cards. So let me show you the cards, and I'll tell you that I used a digital paper for this. I was actually hunting around for some gingerbread paper, and I found it. But I also found this paper. It has gingerbread on it, but it's not exactly what you may expect. So let me get the cards ready here. There's 2 different paper collections that I used. And this is the first one. So this is I'll actually have to link the paper collections in the description box. Hopefully I remember to do that. But what I bought was the digital paper plus the ephemera collection, and I printed these out on my Canon printer. It's a wide format printer, and I could resize the images, the little ephemera pieces, to any size that I want, and also make the patterns that I want. So this particular image here is reduced in size and then multiplied to make a sheet of paper. That's how I did it, because I wanted a small print, not a large print of this image. So I can make this bigger if I wanted to, but I wanted a small print because I knew I would be using it as a background. That's how I did most of the prints that are background prints. I did use my tracing wheel on this one, or on all the cards. And this, again, I have printed this ephemera, which I purchased as a side item from the paper. And I used some crystal drops from Nouveau and some Distress Candy rock glitter. So I used the glue first, which has got glitter in it, but then I used another glitter on top, a dry glitter. So you can kind of, hopefully you can see that. It's on the candies, it's on the cup. So that's the first card. And then on the inside, I've used some of the same collection. You can see here's that cup again, but it's in the paper. And then I used a stamp to stamp this sentiment. And here are the stamps. Ombre Sentiments Christmas and Stylish Sentiments Holiday. Both are from Paper Tray ink. Those are for the inside sentiments for these cards. So I tried to use up a lot of my scraps by using a piece of paper on the inside. So this one I just put some of the glitter on the marshmallows. And you can see there's a cookie back here that has glitter as well. I hope you can see it. And then this die here is this memory box, cross-stitched frame borders. That's what this one is. I thought that because it's got a full sheet of paper on the background, you wouldn't be able to see me stamping on it, so I just put a layer there so you can actually see the sentiment. And then there's this one. Again, this is 3 different pieces of ephemera that I sized and had. Oh, I cut these out with my scan and cut, by the way. So everything that is die cut is actually cut using my scan and cut. And some of them I have outlined and some of them I don't. But then I added the glitter glue and the distress glitter on top to add some, dimension and some sparkle, since they are Christmas cards. And then you could see the sentiment that I popped on here. And they are popped up with some foam tape. This one, I actually had to use a border die on this one. I just picked one of my scallop ones from Paper Tray ink, I think. Because I cut the front layer too short. This particular cardstock layer, I cut it too short, so I had to fix that. And it doesn't look bad. I think it kind of adds to the card a little bit. And I kind of like how the tracing wheel kind of makes the paper lift a little bit around the edges. So I don't actually put any glue to stick it down right here, right where the tracing wheel has gone through. I let my glue stay inside of the rectangle that I create from the tracing wheel. So it kind of lifts away from the base of the card. Okay, and then here's the last one of this set of papers. And like I said, all of these papers are from a digital pack that I bought from an Etsy seller. So there are, certain things that you can and can't do. I'm not going to sell these cards. I'm going to send these as my Christmas cards. So this is the second set. And they're a different colorway. Non-traditional colors, of course. So again, I purchased a paper set of digital papers and also the ephemera set here, and then I cut them out with my scan and cut. I added a little offset for this because there's like little tendrils, I guess you could say, or green. They're not green, but the greenery here, you can't really cut exactly every single one, so I just added an offset. And then here's the stamp sentiment from the ton. And then this is the other stamp set that I shared with you from Paper Tray, and a strip of paper in there. So I won't show you all the insides because they're pretty much the same. Like this is a same die cut, but different background paper. And this one I actually inked around the edges. I had started out this way and then I decided I wanted the brightness of the paper, so I stopped doing that. So this one happens to have inked edges for the base layers, but the snow globe is not. And then I just highlighted the little snowfall inside the snow globe. And I don't know if you could see that on the camera, but the cookie also has glitter. I think these all go this way now. Here's another snow globe. So you can see the snow globe version is a lot brighter than this one because I didn't ink the edges of it. So there we go. And I was waiting for this to come in because I was like, ooh, that would be perfect for all these different cards. And so easy to mass produce the sentiments. This one I followed the line of the whipped cream and added the glitter there, as well as on the cookie to go with the mug. And so you can see I stamped on the inside too. There's another mug one. But I think they turned out fine. I haven't done the... I'm actually going to do some tags because what I did was I had some extra ephemera that I had cut. So I'll be making these matching tags to go along with the cards that I made. So I've got a couple of... They're sitting here on my desk. Got a couple extra ephemera packs. So how did I do some of these things? For one, when I printed these, I actually... printed them on like just your regular kind of copy paper, well, premium copy paper. So I'll say it's a little bit thicker than like a 20-pound cardstock, little nicer. And then because you need it to hold the nice color of ink, the color of ink that it has. And then what I did was take them and put a regular sheet of cardstock, white cardstock that's 12 by 12 through my 12-inch Xyron to make it sticky on one side, and adhered the 8.5 by 11 printouts. Well, were they 8.5 by 11? They might have been 11 by 17. I cut them down a little bit, and then put the images down on that sticky cardstock, and then I ran it through my scan and cut. And the scan and cut could obviously cut out the images that you're seeing. And so you see, like, these two are way different sizes because this one I made huge, and this one was supposed to go on the front of a card and decided I didn't want to use it for that. So this is going to become a tag. These are going to become tags. Same with this one. I haven't added any glitter yet, so this is what the image looks like. Well, it's probably been increased in size, maybe a little bit. And I can actually add things to it. So like I could add, I think I added the bow to this image because the cup doesn't normally come, you can see it doesn't normally come with a bow. So I may have added the bow here. These are some from the other paper line, the red and blue paper line, I think. I bought a couple of different packs. So this says wintertime. So I'm going to play with those. Here's an extra blue cup. Some little candies that I cut out in different color, in the 2 different colorways. And then here's some candy canes. So I have some extra candy canes. So I will probably make all of these into different tags, combining some of them together, perhaps. But I do have some paper scraps. The thing I'm finding about this is that you have less scraps around if you try and use them up. You have less of them, so you're wasting less. So here's some of the scraps that I have in the paper backgrounds that I created. And I used Adobe Illustrator to do this because that's a tool that I already pay for. It's not a free application. You have to pay for it. So I have a couple of scraps left over that I can also use for my tags. But I thought I'd share that with you. I'm going to be making these into tags so they match with the cards that I have just shared with you. Thanks for watching, guys. I will be back hopefully with more when these are done. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.